أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We are chapter 11, verse 84. And we're going to finish it tonight, inshallah. Okay, here you go, Mandra.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. And to the Midians went their brother Jethro. He said, O my people, worship God. You have no other God besides him. You shall not cheat with measurement and the scale. Indeed, I want to see you do well, and indeed, I fear for you the day when punishment completely surrounds you. O my people, and O my people, fulfill the measure and the scale equitably. Do not cheat people out of their belongings, and do not roam the land as corruptors. What is left for you by God is better for you if you are faithful, and I am not your guardian. They said, O Jethro, does your contact prayer command us that we abandon what our fathers used to worship, or not to do with our wealth as we wish? Indeed, you used to be clement, guided. He said, O my people, may I show you a proof from my Lord that he has provided for me as a blessing? I do not agree with you regarding what I enjoin you from. I only wish to correct as many things as I can, and my success is only attainable through God. I put my trust in him, and to him I repent. And my people, do not commit an error by opposing me, lest you suffer the same disaster as the disaster that afflicted the people of Noah, or the people of Eber, or the people of Saleh, and the people of Lot were not far away from you. And ask forgiveness from your Lord, then repent to him. Indeed, my Lord is all merciful, all loving. They said, O Jethro, we do not understand much of what you say, and indeed we see that you are weak amongst us. And if it were not for your clan, we would have surely stoned you, and you would not have any might over us. He said, O my people, is my clan mightier for you than God? And is it why you are turning your back to him? Indeed, my Lord encompasses everything you do. And, O my people, keep doing what you are doing in your dwellings, and so am I. You will soon find out who will receive the humiliating punishment and who the liar is. And continue to watch for it, and I will watch for it along with you. And once our command was issued, we saved Jethro and those who believed with him as a mercy from us. And the thunder overwhelmed the unjust, leaving them dead in their homes. It was as though they never prospered therein. Absolutely, the Midians have perished, just like the mood perished. And we sent Moses with our signs and a profound authority to Pharaoh and his people who obeyed Pharaoh's command. However, Pharaoh's command was void of guidance. He will lead his people on the day of resurrection as they enter hell. What a miserable entrance for those who enter. They follow damnation here as well as on the day of resurrection. What a miserable gift for the one who received that gift. These are news from communities that we narrate to you. Some are still standing and some were completely wiped out. And we were not unjust toward them. They were unjust toward themselves. Therefore their gods, whom they called upon besides God, did not enrich them in the least, once your Lord's command was issued, and they gained nothing but destruction. And such is your Lord's punishment when communities commit injustice. Indeed, his punishment carries the ultimate pain. Indeed, in this there is a sign for those who fear the punishment of the hereafter. That is the day when all the people are brought before him, the day that will be witnessed. and we will delay it until a numerically predetermined time. When that day comes, no soul will speak except by his permission. Amongst them are wretched as well as the happy. Then the wretched end up in hell, wherein there is screaming and whining. They abide therein forever, as long as the vacua and matter endure in accordance with your Lord's will. Indeed, your Lord is the utmost doer of what he wills. As for those who are happy, they are in paradise, wherein they abide forever, as long as the vacua and matter endure in accordance with your Lord's will, a gift without limits. Therefore, do not be in doubt about what these people worship. They do not worship except what their parents worshipped before them, and indeed we will exact their share without deficiency. And indeed we gave Moses the scripture, but it was disputed. And if it were not for a preordained word from your Lord, they would have indeed been judged. And surely they are hesitant, full of doubt. And indeed all of them will receive their share from your Lord because of their deeds. Indeed, he is fully cognizant of what they do. Therefore be steadfast, as you were commanded, and so shall those who repented along with you, and do not rebel. Indeed, he is all-seer of everything you do. And do not lean toward the transgressors, lest you will end up in hell, and you will have no ally besides God, and you will never be helped. And observe the contact prayer at both ends of the daylight and early part of the night. Indeed, the good wipes out the bad. This is a reminder for those who take the reminder. And be patient, for God will never put to waste the reward for the righteous. Hence, if only the previous generations were intelligent enough to forbid evil throughout the land, as a few of them were, whom we saved. As for those who followed the transgressors, they enjoyed themselves temporarily, and they were guilty. And your Lord will never annihilate a community unjustly while its inhabitants are righteous. And if your Lord willed, he would have indeed made the humans a single congregation, however they always dispute, except those upon whom your Lord has bestowed mercy. And for this reason he created them. And your Lord's word is fulfilled. I will indeed fill Gehenna with jinns and humans together. And we thus narrate to you the news from some messengers in order to strengthen your heart therewith. This comes to you as the truth and enlightenment and a reminder for the faithful. And say to those who have no faith, continue what you are doing in your dwellings, and so will we. And wait, and we will surely wait. And to God belongs the secret of the vacua and matter, and all matters are referred to him. Therefore you shall worship him and put your trust in him, and your Lord is never unaware of what you do.
Okay, thank you, mashallah. Okay, very good. Okay, any comments, questions, observations, or discussions? Anything?
Salam, Dr. Fazely.
Alaikum assalam. Yes, go ahead, Shakira, please.
I was going to, I was looking at, just 1 minute. Sorry. 1191.
Yes.
This one is They said, "Oh, Jethro, we do not understand much of what you say, and indeed we see that you are weak amongst us. And if it were not for your clan, we would have surely stoned you, and you would not have any might over us." See, this verse is actually reminding us that those people who do not worship God alone, God closes their minds. They have ears with which they do not hear. They have deafness in their ears. They are blind and they don't understand anything. So they are actually not even knowing what you're talking about. And so they are basically making you, mocking the messenger and not understanding him at all. And God tells us very clearly that no one can change anybody. It's basically between you and God. Not just one thing like this, but everything. Because you can ask somebody to help you, but the reality is that only God can do that. And
yep.
What I felt, is that God is merciful and has placed all those balances in place, those clemency balances, and everything, mercy, everything is already placed in there. And yet, we cannot save ourselves except by doing the right thing.
Yes.
Because we have to make the choice. We don't have any, there's no way out for us. It's up to us.
Yes. It's very good.
And so every time we talk to people, I'm talking about myself. When I talk to other people, I used to try so hard you wouldn't believe it. Beg. But the reality is that was rubbish. That meant nothing at all.
Yep.
And then it made I'm sure that most of us know this, that when you walk somewhere or you're thinking about something, you realize that, at the end of it, we need to talk only to God. Nobody else is going to be able to help us.
Yep.
Nobody. Okay, and the second one that I was looking at was, it was 119. It said that, "Except those upon whom your Lord has bestowed mercy, and for this reason he created them." This is the same one as in Surah 51. He says, "I did not create the humans and the jinns except to worship me alone."
Yes.
And this is exactly the same thing that God is telling here. And he's using, look how beautifully he is actually wording these things. The verse is so beautifully worded. He's telling, "Except upon those whom your Lord has bestowed mercy."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he understands us when we make the choice. But it actually depends completely on him, how we find our path and go on that path. Everything else is with him. Nothing is with us.
Yes.
Okay, so we should fulfill God's word then.
Thank
in
you.
the right way.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much, Doctor.
Okay.
It's a pleasure so much.
Salam,
Anything
Dr.
else?
Fazely.
Walaikum assalam, Maryam. Go ahead, please.
The verse 107 and 108. What is your understanding on "as long as the vacua and matter endure in accordance with your Lord's will"? When we know that in other verses God emphasizes that they will abide in paradise forever and
Yes.
or eternally. So what is it really, "as long as the vacua and matters endure in accordance with your Lord's will"?
Yes. Means forever. Okay? That's my understanding. Means forever. But you also have to remember now that vacuum and matter is not just this universe. There are a lot of other ones that God has created. And He creates it too. So there's no end to that. Okay? So it means forever. So if you go back to 1799 and 3681, that God says that the one that who created the vacuum and matter is not capable of creating the likes of them. And so
Yes.
it's just a redundant question, but he keeps creating these, and these things are basically go on forever. I mean, as far as the time is concerned, there is no end to that time, because there is no end to God's creation. And so again, so the bottom line is that it means forever.
Okay, so there is no time.
There is no time limit. No, there's no time limit. And there is another thing also that I remember that I asked the same question from Rashad, and what he told me, he said that that's actually a saying. Another way of saying in Arabic, I'm not an Arab, so I don't know.
Yeah.
He's saying in Arabic that something lasts as far as the samawat wal ard is means that forever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah,
to us, if we are not even Arab, we can understand it in terms of Quran.
Yes.
As far as 1799 and 3681 are concerned, that means there is no end to samawat wal ard. So they just God's keep going to create them over and over and over again. So.
Yeah. Actually, if we remove from these two verses the time factor or the notion of time, it flows better than
right. Exactly.
if you read them
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And eternity doesn't mean that there's a time thing there. Okay, that means that there is something which is out of the realm of so-called Minkowski space. Okay, if you're out of Minkowski space, time is gone. So
yes.
time is irrelevant.
And everything runs anyway according to our Lord's will, including the entire creation. If He wants to come up with a different creation, He would do that. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions or comments or observations?
Salam, Dr. Fazely.
Welcome, Salam Nishat. Yes, go ahead, please.
The last few verses in this chapter, after God talks about different messengers and what they went through and the choices that people made, is so reassuring. I mean, nowadays when you think about all the bad things that are happening in the world, and just putting your trust in God and knowing that all the matters are referred to Him, and He is in full control. People, as you were mentioning, they think that they can scheme, but God is the best of the schemers. And when God says we reveal these verses to reassure your heart, it's really reassuring. I mean, putting trust in God is easier said than done.
It is.
When you are going through hardship or you see bad things happening, and according to our timeline, I mean, it might take a long time and we don't see the end. But just knowing that God is saying that, put your trust in God. And also, as you mentioned, and we talked about the time dimension, 60 years, 70 years, 100 years in our timeline is nothing when compared to what's happening, in the universe. And so, I mean, this last few verses is really reassuring. And that's why God says that read the Quran again and again, because we need this reassurance constantly.
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, this is Parvez.
Welcome, Salam Parvez. Yes, go ahead, please.
I'm just looking at the verses from 84 to 87, and I want to understand the relationship in 87. I mean, with respect to the previous verses where it says that, does your contact prayer command you? I mean, they wanted to do as far as I'm trying to understand is that they did anything they wanted with their wealth, whereas in the previous verses it was mentioned that you have to do everything with a balanced scale and measure equitably. Is it that the people, they used to have a system of wealth which was, win-win for themselves, nothing for the other people?
They cheated, yes. Yes, they cheated. You see, they didn't want to give to charity. They said that you're telling us what to do with our money. Okay, if as I said, people are being put to the test. And you see, like for example, zakat, which is not really much, and we calculated one time, it's about 2.5% to feed people everywhere, good meals, and so if everybody gives that 2.5%, everybody is fed in the world. There is no hunger in the world. It's completely gone. But then again, there is also khums, okay, which means that if you have a sudden gain, okay, that's 20%. Okay, so now you go from 2.5% to 20%, so that's a huge test for a lot of people. Okay, $5,000 means $1,000 has to be given away, and that's a lot of money. Okay, so Shoaib was telling them you have to give, and they were saying no, we don't have to give. You're telling us what to do with our money. Okay, so that's the case here.
And the weird part is they said that you used to be clement and guided. Their concept of clemency and guidance is totally warped in the sense that
that's right.
God is saying be equitable. Here they want to cheat and they think that's being clement and guided. I don't understand the society that
for them righteousness was obviously the opposite of that. Mm-hmm. For them, righteousness is the opposite, and we see it with the so-called religious group of people. They make up stories why they should not give, why they should cheat, and why they should lie, and why they should do all kinds of crimes. Okay, so they give themselves all of these freedoms within the context of the religion in order to justify their actions.
So does that mean their contact prayer is different from the one that God has
right, exactly. It is.
That means their contact is not pure and they don't have the pure thoughts and the right ways. So this could mean that the contact prayer is the source of all your inspiration and guidance, right?
Well, yeah, it is. As I said, we can't miss it, because otherwise, if that actually is missed, then the whole thing is going to crumble. Okay? Salat has been mentioned, as it is, 67 times in the Quran, and zakat has been mentioned 28 times. But once you don't do the salat, then the zakat part is just going to crumble, because you're never going to give the zakat. And the rest of the stuff is going to also crumble too. It's going to come down crashing on you, and that will be the end of it.
And then people are ready to pay 20% interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
They do it the other way. They do it exactly the other way, and that's why they say you're telling us what to do with our money. See? Mm-hmm. So it goes the opposite way. Instead of giving it away, you're keeping it.
Yeah, on the other hand, God says to spend in His cause, right? He gives you the money and you spend it in His will, not your will. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Salam, Dr. Fazely.
Welcome, salam, Nisha.
It's not that different nowadays. Many communities, even here, people admire those who evade giving their taxes, or they think that they're so smart, those people who cheat and get wealthy and have everything at the expense of other people. And they actually, even the people who get ripped off, look with admiration at those people who can get away with this kind of stuff. And when you talk about it's so reverse to what God is saying, nothing much has changed since Shoaib's time.
Yeah.
In our communities, it's the same thing. People who cheat and not do their part, or not not. I mean, if you have customers or business, you do whatever you can to just earn money at whatever expense. And if you're successful, then everybody admires you and think that's so smart.
Yeah.
So
they pat themselves on the back, for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Even people who get ripped off, look at them and say, "Oh, they're so smart."
Yes.
It's just so. I don't know. I think it's just part of human beings' mentality.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments or questions or observations on these verses we just read?
Salam alaikum, Ali.
Alaikum salam. Yes, go ahead, Tasneem, please.
That's just an observation. In this surah, verse 1184 says that Jethro went to Midian's. And in surah 26, verse 176 and 177, that he went to Ashabul Aika. So I always wondered what Ashabul Aika was or where. So they are same, is it? Midian's and Ashabul Aika? Yeah, 26, 176.
Which verse are you referring to? Let me go there first.
Okay, so this one the Jethro went to Midian's. The
right,
one that I'm
84.
Yeah.
What is the other one?
26, Surah 26, verse 176, 177.
176.
I hope I'm remembering that.
The dwellers of Acre rejected the messengers. Yes.
So they are. I mean,
there must have been a people in there that was Ashab al-Aika. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was also thinking.
Yep.
It can be too far away. It cannot be at two places at the same time.
It cannot be two places. You're right. Yes.
Okay, that's all. It was just a comment.
Very good. Very good. It's good observation, actually. Okay. Anything else?
Salam, Dr. Fazely.
Alaikum salam, Shaka. Yes, go ahead, please.
I was remember the question on 1187 that you were discussing with Parvez about, Jethro, does your contact prayer command us that we abandon what of others? And then it says, indeed, you used to be clement and guided. And he replies to them. He tells them that I only wish to correct as many things as I can.
Yes.
And my success is only attainable through God. I put my trust in Him, and to Him I repent. So he understands what they're saying, that the wrong things that he did before, and he's telling, I'm trying to correct myself as much as I can.
Yes.
So he's actually, and then he's telling, I'm repenting, I'm doing all those things, trying my best, and I'm telling you to do the same. And don't commit an error by opposing me. Yeah. Actually, can I ask you a question on the Jummah today?
Yes.
So we were reading this. Do they not? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. 2967 said, do they not see that we have established a sacred, secure place while people around it live in fear? So basically, this is Mecca, right?
Yes. Kaaba, yes.
Okay. Kaaba. Okay, but you also said the place that you live in is a place of security. So basically, are you telling that, does it mean that, because you also said there are a lot of people who actually live in insecurity, they do. And I have to tell you that around me here, even in all the counties in this area, there is a lot of burglary and robberies going on. A lot of them. And even though they have, so basically, if somebody is a believer, that means that place you live is a place of security?
Yes, God will secure it for you somehow. Okay, I mean, it happens in a lot of things, destructions and stuff, that, that some homes are saved and some homes are not saved. And so who does that? God is the one who does it. So security is always provided. God says, we always save the believers. So that's what God is telling us. So somehow he gives security to them. As a matter of fact, this is right now that what we are doing is provided by this security from God. Otherwise, we won't be able to do this.
And you remember in the last Jummah, not the Jummah, in the Quran study, you also said that at this time we should be doing the Surah 113. I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak from the evils among his creations, from the evils of the darkness as it falls.
Yes.
So that one also will help us with this place being a place of security, right?
Exactly. Of course.
God for that.
Yes. The last chapter also does it. The last chapter also does it too. Okay? I mean, look, I want to say something. I want to share this with you, okay, all of you. And I want to go to let me open up something first here, okay? Let me open up something, and I have a new thing here. Okay, this one. Okay. So I talked to you about this 9129, okay, today. So what I want to do today is I want to go to chapter 114. Chapter 114, verse 6. Okay, this is what is happening to everybody. Okay, and God puts these things in there to test us. Okay. And you see here that we put this 6234 there. 3491 is the number of verses in the uninitial surahs, and 331 is the order of revelation of this surah. Okay, so this verse 114:6 has been revealed as the 331st numbered verse from in the order of revelations. Okay, and then there is 279, and then 114:6. Now, if you do this exercise, let me just go ahead and show it to everybody. Draw. Okay. If you do this exercise, the 19th super prime is 331.
Yes.
Okay? And its index is 67. Index of this guy is 67. Okay? It means it's 67th prime. And the 19th prime is 67. So that's why this is a super prime. All right?
Yes.
So if you write 19,331, you're going to get the prime factor. This is a biprime. This number is a biprime or a semi-prime. It's actually 13 times 1,487. Okay? So this number is 13 times 1,487. Okay? Now, this prime number 13 is the 6th prime. Okay? This prime 1487 is 23. Pay attention to this, 236. So that tells you that 6236 instead of 6234.
Yes.
See that? Okay.
Yes.
It means that 2 verses are added to the Quran by virtue of this 331 to be here. Okay? But now 1146 goes back to 6234. How does that do that? Okay? Well, no, it's not allowing me to do this, and it's really aggravating. And let's see here. Okay. Let me open up another one. Okay, now 1146 is the index of 1365.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay?
Composite.
1365 is 3 times 5 times 7 times 13.
Yes.
The indices of these are 2, 3, 4, 6.
4.
And the 90th permutation of 2, 3, 4, 6 is 6, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Okay? So that number takes you back to 6, 2, 3, 4 again. Can you imagine this? And furthermore, if you go to the Quran and you go to 1998.
2, 3, 4, 6. Is the index of 2, 3, 4, 6 composite. 2, 3,
1998. Okay? You see that 1365 is the order of revelation. The order of revelation is 1365, as we just saw it in this right here. You see 1365? It coincides with that. Now, also 2346, the index of 2346 is 1998. See that?
Yes.
1998. Which tells you that, as I was saying today, that falsehood cannot generate anything. It's only the truth that generates things. Because 6236 cannot generate anything. It just got stuck there. And it was refuted by this 2346 and 6234 and 1998 and 1365. See?
Yes.
Again, today what we saw, that all of these numbers that you see are completely independent of those 2 false verses. See that? Because if you go to, when you go to this, then you go to 2346 or 1998, you see that 1365 is completely independent because this is the order of revelation. So it doesn't matter because the 2 false verses, the 113th revelation. So it was way towards the end of the Quran. Okay?
Yes.
And only 3 more verses was revealed after that. So you see, they're all. This is how God created it. This is coming from the power of these mathematical relations that are completely beyond our imagination.
Dr. Fazely, if you don't mind, can you go back to the slide where you said that shows that 2 verses were added? Yes.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate a little bit more on this? I understand about how you got to the 6234.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that, you see, in this one right here, in this one, see? This is what I was saying. In this one right here is, let's see here. How can I get down to this one right here? Why is it not doing this? I don't know why it's not rolling down.
To this slide.
That? Yeah. Okay, right here, okay?
Okay.
So what I said was that verse 114.6, okay? 114.6, which is right here. 114.6. Okay? You see that the order of revelation is 331.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You see that? 331 happens to be the 19th super prime. Okay? And now you see that 19th super prime here, okay, is 331 and 19331 is 331 is the 19th super prime, and so this number 19331 is equal to 13 times 46. Okay?
The 19331 is 13 in the 1487.
Okay. So.
Assalamualaikum, Dr. Fazely. You can click on insert.
So what is your question? What's your question now?
Mine?
Yes, no, Miriam's question.
Yes.
So what is your question, Miriam?
Yeah, sorry. So I know how you get to the 6236, but your conclusion that 2 verses were added?
Yeah, because the number without those two verses are 6234, not 6236. If you add 128 and 129, then it becomes 6236.
No, I get that, but you're using the mathematic. We used to have all the signs that you shared with us from the math. That it really leads to the fact that chapter 9 has only 127 verses,
yes.
but
yes.
this time you are doing the opposite, which makes.
I'm just saying that suppose you even added those two.
Okay, got it. Okay.
By the virtue that is lining up with 1146, it's going to reject those two verses.
Okay.
You see, that's what I was saying.
Okay. Yeah, I think now I understand you better.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. That was your question, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
And
thank
for
you.
the life of me, I don't understand why this thing is not.
Salam, Dr. Fazely. If you click on insert.
Insert
and then page break.
Yes. There is page break on this thing.
Insert is on the left. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And then page break.
Page break, yeah. There we go. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's it. All right, so thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the key. The key is that even if you add those two, then it comes back to tell you that no, it's 6234, not the other one. Because the other one, this one doesn't generate anything. The other one generates it.
The math that you said today, Dr. Fazely, was actually connecting many different things together.
Yes.
It was not, you see, so you started out with 19 and 67, you added 113.
Exactly.
And then you went from there and then went for 58, 439, having 3 indices, the inter-index acceleration, and then taking one of them and going, the 27 was 30, and then 5917, connecting with 3174, and then the 1596 coming in. All of them is something that we did not do before. This one, we connect so many things together, and we created a picture which I just wanted to ask you the question that, it looks like a huge jigsaw puzzle, but in this sequence, lots of small pieces came together.
Yeah, I mean, this is what God has done, okay? You see here, like, for example, okay? I said today that see that signifies the thing, this one here on the left, okay? So if you look at that, the Bismillah is in Surah 9 is compensating 27:30. See, this one, by the virtue of this verse here, okay?
Yeah. Yes.
This verse here that we had on the left, you see this verse? This verse, these three numbers that I underlined, 3174 is one of them, and 3974 is actually in 9129. You see? But then it's rejected by the number next to it, which is 1362, which is the number of verses that are actually prime number verses. So that's that sequence, and that is independent of 9128 and 1929. You see that? Because they are not. Because they are not prime numbers. You see, so you can't count them. They won't be counted.
By the same token, in 64 itself is a surah that is revealed. It's 108 surah revealed. So it was also revealed much earlier than
yeah, these are all much earlier. Exactly. They are much earlier surahs, yes.
Another thing you said that was more powerful to me than the revelation is that 1596 connecting to 6234, because the numerical value of, and then you also, of month of Ramadan, and then you also said that the Quran that was revealed right away at the time, even before it was completely revealed, it had to have that 6234, because the value, numerical value is telling you this is where I'm going.
Yeah. With 1596, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It's there, right? I mean, right from the beginning, and God is telling it was already, that was destiny. That's it. That was written in stone. That's it.
Yeah. With this table here, 1596, 5917, 6234. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's what God is saying. But then again, you see, it also, what it actually shows you in 114.6, by the virtue of that number being 331, which is the 19th super prime, God is actually predicting that 2 verses are going to be added to that.
Yes, exactly.
You see, even before Surah 9 is revealed. You see? So God is saying that, look, this is going to happen, but it's going to be immediately refuted because of this, because of 114.6.
Yes.
See? So that is the key.
Yeah.
Wow.
There is some nice place for 31742, which we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, these numbers, when you look at them at this, the first glance that you have at it, you think that they're just numbers. They are not. They have really, extra dimensions to them, and that's how they reveal themselves. Because, as I said, this table that I made here today, this table here, 9129 is 232323. You see that? Actually, if you write it up, it's 232323, which is 999. See?
I know.
But anyway, there are 4 numbers, okay? So God is telling me it's going to be chapter 9 that they're going to be fooling around with. You see? So, and then it says here, 23 times 2 times 3 times 29 is 3174. You see?
Yeah.
And that's 3174.
When you put it down, and you said 23, 23, 23, I had to look carefully. And then I found that. I mean, otherwise never paid attention to that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was very, 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 very educational and enlightening, and and totally inspirational. There was
This
nothing
was
in
an
it that
inspiration.
somebody could find out. It's absolutely impossible that somebody could sit down and find all these things. It's not possible.
Yeah.
But that's
Basically showing us proof that he knows the future, right?
That's exactly what he's saying to us. That's exactly what he's saying. You see?
We should appreciate that he's showing us this proof.
Yeah, this verse here, 64:5, is telling us that, look, this is number 9 that they're going to fool around with because it's 3174. Okay? And the last verse in the Quran, which is 114:6, it tells you that when they do that, they're going to add 2 and it's going to be 6236.
Yeah, they're both parallel. They're telling the same story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so therefore the truth is generating the future itself. So you can't change anything. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Finally, this is how the falsehood is eradicated. Right?
That's exactly what I was saying to this. See, this is how falsehood being immediately eradicated by God. And that's what he says, it vanishes.
And if we cling to that, we will also vanish.
Yeah. Okay, anything else in this chapter? Any other questions or comments or observations? By the way, there is a mistranslation here, and I just wanted to tell everybody that I have to change that. I didn't change it, but let's see, where was it? Okay.
Does that I need to be capitalized? That indeed in 84? And indeed I.
This?
No, down. Right there.
I fear for you. No, it has to. No, it doesn't have to be. That's another typo. Well, I had another thing in here. There it is. I'm sorry. It's 1187. Okay, 1187. It should read, they said, "O Jethro, does your contact prayer command you that we abandon what our fathers used to worship, not command us." Okay? So this has to be fixed. Okay, so I'll fix that one. And are there any other comments or question observations? Okay, if there are no more, let's do the usual al-Fatihah, the 3 al-Fatihahs that we did, and so we finish for tonight. Okay.